What's up, guys? So coming from Christianity into Hellenic polytheism, it's natural that you're going to have some questions. And there are a couple of viewers who asked me a couple of questions that I thought I'd address because I'm sure there are other people that are going to be watching this that may have the same kind of question. So let's go ahead and answer these questions today. So these questions may sound pretty simple to answer, but whenever you're coming from another religion into another, or another way of thinking, I should say, into another, some of your old ways of thinking still hang around. Believe me, that comes from personal experience. So, as I mentioned, these two are kind of related since these are coming from two different people, but with a Christianity background. And so I just thought I'd just throw it all into one video just to address both topics. And whenever someone asks me a question, I keep their usernames private. I don't give it out or what videos it came from, but I do address the question. So the first one is that I got was in the Ten Commandments. It states that thou shalt not worship other gods before me. So, but basically, I'm interested in worshiping the gods of Olympus without the fear of offending the Christian God. So without knowing this person's full background or their full beliefs, I see it from two different ways. One way, if they're coming from a eclectic pagan perspective, more of like a Wiccan tradition, they would say that all gods are one, and the Christian God is the same as the XYZ God. There are pagans that believe that. But when you look into it from the Hellenic polytheistic view, the idea of worshiping the Olympian gods, the Greek gods, and worrying about offending the Christian God is something that shouldn't even be in your mind. The reason being is that if you worship the Olympian gods and believe in the Olympian gods and the Grecian gods and the Hellenic gods, the Christian God does not exist in this belief system. Nowhere in ancient Greek practices did they worship or worry about the Christian God, because he didn't exist. So if you are drawn to Hellenic polytheism, if you're drawn to worshiping Zeus and Hera and Ares, then that kind of comes with an understanding as well that if you're worshiping these gods, then these other gods don't exist, or worshiping the gods you want to won't interfere, won't conflict, because they are not there. And that's a place you get to eventually. I can see someone that's coming from Christianity into this new way of thinking and still having those doubts and lingering ideas in the back of your head. But eventually, the more you get into it, you start believing fully into this new way of thinking of worshiping the gods, and how the gods of Olympus and the Hellenic gods are in everything, and that there is no room for the Judeo-Christian God. So there's no one to offend, because in your new belief system, once you get there, he doesn't even exist. So there's nothing to worry about. So there's nothing to be forgiven for. That's another thing I always hear a lot is, what can I do to be forgiven? And I tell people, there's nothing. I say, what's to be forgiven for? What you do, you mess up, you just wake up, start a new day, and try to be better the next day. So the second comment I got from another video, it says, do you mind making a video on if baptism can affect your connection to the gods? Because they couldn't find any information. The reason being is that baptism shouldn't affect your relationship with the gods. Does baptism affect your relationship with the gods? The answer is no. Once, kind of like what I mentioned, even when you were a child or even if you were an adult, before you found the gods, before you knew about the gods, before you found out other people believed in the gods and you were drawn to the gods. Baptism doesn't affect your relationship with them, because baptism, when you lose that spiritual connection of the meaning behind the baptism, it kind of loses its strength, because it's nothing more than being dipped in water. So only thing that would hold you back after being baptized would be your own thoughts, holding you back, feeling like you've done something wrong and you can't proceed on to something new because of something in your past. And so my suggestion is to let the past go and just know that you've grown, and that you having a baptism in the past does not affect what your relationship with your gods now. I can speak from personal experience, because I was pretty old when I had mine, and that never has come in the way of any kind of relationship with the gods. So I can tell you that baptisms, young or old, last year, this year, 10 years ago, it wouldn't affect your relationship with any of the gods other than what you have going on in your head. And so I hope this video has helped you guys out, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video and it answered some of these questions that some of you may have been having. Anyway, guys, I'll talk to you again later, and I'll see you. Bye.